Hi everyone, this is Peter here. I hope you are all having an awesome day. If you like the images that I showed you earlier in the intro and wanna learn how I created those shots, then please join me in today's tutorial. All you need is access to Photoshop and a couple of minutes. It's super easy, so let's get started. So here we are on my computer. I've got 3 JPEGs of a Gang cockatoo, which I'm gonna open in Photoshop right now, and we're gonna create a sequence shot from these 3 individual frames. First things first, we're gonna go to File and create a new document. I already have a custom one which has an aspect ratio of the YouTube thumbnail, just multiplied. That should be enough, 768 by 4320 pixels. That's gonna give us a large enough canvas to work with. Let's go to the first image. What I'm gonna do now is crop this bottom part out because I only want the homogeneous even background of the blue sky. I'll just zoom in a little bit. We gotta find the magic wand tool and then go to select and select and mask, and then invert that mask. And the only thing that I've done here in terms of adjustments is here, around here in the global refinements drop down menu. I added +5 to the smoothness, which smoothens out the jagged edges. The feathering is +1 pixel, which softens the selection edges even further, and then shifted the edge by +40%. This seems to have worked with all of my shots, so I stuck with that. And then make sure that the output to is new layer, and then hit OK. So we've got the selection ready. What I'm gonna do now though first is we go to the Eyedropper tool because we want to sample the color from this background. Hit the right click on your mouse and then make sure that you don't use point sample. I normally use 5 by 5 pixels average, and then copy the colors hex code and then go to the new document, go to edit and then fill, or shift F5 is the shortcut for that. And then from the contents drop down menu, select color, and then down here you can actually hit right click and then paste that particular color code and then hit OK. And then one more time, and that is the color that we'll be using. It is essentially the same as it was in the original shots. Then we go back to this particular frame, and then we're gonna copy and paste it from here. I'm gonna use shortcuts now, hit Command A, which selects everything within the frame, and then Command C or Control C on PC, and then return to the empty canvas, and then hit Command V, which pastes the image. If we zoom in, you can see that it has done a really good job. There's no artifacting, it looks really decent. If you want to change the position and alter the size or the angle the bird is at, then make sure that you remain on the layer panel and then hit Command T, which brings up the transform tool, and then you can do all sorts of things like rotate and then adjust the size of this little birdie. So that's looking good. And then you just essentially repeat the same process. So I'm gonna just crop it out again and then use the magic wand tool and then go to select and mask, invert, output to new layer, Command A, Command C, and then Command V, and then bring up again the transform tool, rotate it around a little bit, and we're gonna play with it a little bit later and then finish the last image. Where is it? Oh yeah, that's the one. So again, do the same thing here. Very easy. Make sure that you invert it. Okay, Command A, Command C, and then Command V. So I'm just gonna muck around with it a little bit more. Let's do that. And then make it a little bit slightly larger. Rotate it so it looks a little bit more aligned with the first frame, more natural, and then repeat the same process with the last one. Yeah, that's looking good. As you can see, this is a fairly easy thing to do, and I think it looks pretty cool, especially if you manage to take a whole sequence of shots, let's say 10 or 12 frames. I've already done a little bit of editing on these JPEGs in Lightroom, but if you want to further edit it, then you can do that. Let's just create a stamp visible tool by holding Shift Command E, which essentially merges all the layers below, and then we can just duplicate the layer and then go to Filter, Camera Raw Filter, and then maybe add a touch more shadow detail, a little bit more clarity, maybe +5, a little bit more vibrance and saturation. Yeah, +8 looks fine. And what else? I think that's looking good. I've got a couple of actions saved, so I'm going to pull that action panel up and apply a high pass filter. What I'm going to do is just zoom in, bring up the brush tool, make sure that the hardness is 100% and the flow is 100%. That's correct. And also the foreground is selected. You can just toggle and set the foreground to white by hitting X. What I tend to do is just sharpen the section around the eye and the mouth parts, and then repeat the same around here. And that's looking good to my eyes, so we can just save that, save a copy, JPEG, gang, cockatoo sequence to the desktop, hit OK. So this is the shot that we created. I think it looks pretty cool. So as you can see, this tutorial is fairly easy to replicate. We only use the Magic Wand tool for the selection of the subject and the Eyedropper tool just to select the color, and then everything was pretty straightforward after that. I hope you find this little short tutorial useful. If you haven't subscribed yet, then please consider subscribing. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, if you have any kind of feedback in regard to my channel in general or this tutorial, then please leave a comment down below or get in touch with me on Instagram. Thank you so much again for watching, and see you guys very soon in the next one.